Yeah, Kit, thanks. So we founded RGI 2 years ago to capitalize on a mismatch between the supply and demand drivers in the vessel market that supports offshore energy production. That's oil and gas, that's wind farms, it's oil and gas and renewables. We see an opportunity to deploy £10 million into that space to build new vessels and return 250% within 12 to 18 months. The demand side of this story is pretty compelling. Currently, offshore energy production, well, the global energy mix, a fifth of that energy is produced offshore. Majority of that is oil and gas, as you would expect. On an aggressive transition model to 2050, you still have a fifth of global energy produced offshore. All that's happened is that oil and gas has reduced, renewables has filled that gap. All of that energy infrastructure requires a vessel fleet to support it. That's where we are with energy infrastructure vessels, and we have an opportunity to deliver a clean and compelling opportunity into that space.
And I think despite that very compelling demand picture, 700% growth in wind farms, plus the growth in oil and gas as well. Despite that, the offshore vessel fleet is shrinking at around about 3% per year, and it has done for the past 7 years. So the volume of vessels able to actually meet the demands is completely mismatched. And the ship market is not ready to deploy cash into the offshore shipping market at the moment. Why not? There's no incentive. If you are a ship owner at the moment, your vessels are currently earning 30% more this year than they were last year, and it's projected that they're going to earn 40% more next year than they are this year. These owners are currently building their war chests. They will go to market and they will build new ships. They're just not prepared to do it yet. We want to get the jump on them. We want to get into the yards now, build a vessel, deliver it into a market where there is a huge demand and there's very little supply.
Yeah, it's getting a jump that's led to the option that we've created. So we've spent 2 years now getting to a point where we have a ready-to-build solution. We have a Singaporean shipyard. It's a government-backed shipyard that is supporting us, and they have a signed letter of intent with them. We've negotiated very compelling payment terms that are a reflection of how keen they are to get into this space and how keen they are to get on board with our clean and green solution. The designers of this vessel is a company called Kongsberg. Now, Kongsberg is the Norwegian BAE Systems. They are the market leader in engineering in defence and technology. They own the Rolls-Royce ship design, so our vessel is a Rolls-Royce ship design. And as part of that, they have demonstrated that they can deliver an 85% reduction in carbon emissions. So not only are we focused on do we have a solution that can be built at a top-tier shipyard with the support of a government, we also have a very compelling technological solution in the context of what the world is talking about with energy transition and clean and green. So the deal dynamics here, from a perspective of how we're going to package this, we require £10 million. That £10 million will be used as the first down payment on a ship, and that's the first requirement that we have to pay the shipyard. There's no requirement for any more capital. There's no or any more equity. There's no requirement for any debt. And we will spend the 12 months from the date of signing the shipyard contract to the point where we're ready to sell the vessel. We will spend that time finding the charters, finding the end user earnings. And that's what Nick and I have done for the last 20 years. Nick and I have been responsible for chartering vessels all over the world. I've been based in the UK, I've been based in Singapore, I've been based in Houston, Australia. Nick, you've done similar exposure.
All over the world. I mean, listen, I think it's worth pointing out that before we've even cut steel, we already have charterers who are approaching us directly. We've got listed American companies looking for 5 to 7 years end contract using. We've got a Norwegian industrial company also interested in up to 3 years. The vessel hasn't even been, the contract for the shipyard has not actually been signed yet, and we already have charterers wanting the vessels. The demand picture is extraordinary. And we just need to make sure that we are the people with our foot in the door.
Absolutely. So as we said at the beginning, the demand story is compelling. The supply side is restricted to almost zero, and we see that unchanging in the next 2 to 3 years. We require £10 million to unlock this option, and we intend to return it and recycle it back to our shareholders within 12 to 18 months at a 250% return. So thanks for listening.